Hi guys, this is Sanal again, and I just wanted to come in and share with you guys my trip to Acton University 2017. We went to the Acton University conference in June and had an awesome time. It's a conference on liberty, virtue, economics, and faith. It's a really awesome conference, so if you get a chance to attend, I would suggest that you do so. This year, my husband Milton went with me, and we boarded a plane headed off to Acton, and it was an awesome experience. So I'm going to share with you a few of the clips from the classes and the lectures, and we'll share with you some of the fun things we did. There were some awesome opportunities for classes that you could choose from. So tune in.
This meant the United States would have to have a close commercial relationship with Britain. This was not very popular, and Anglophobia was strongest in the South, which was the stronghold of the Jeffersons' support.
It's the duality that the gentleman was just talking about. It's always at the same time that things have their own natural ways of working, and that's fine. That doesn't make them secular. There's also at the same time a conversation going on between that and a deeper reality, which speaks to creation, speaks to incarnation.
For a while as a region, several years, and so it was a unique new initiative. And one of the ways that I found was helpful in couching it was kind of like a leadership.
You just give us a little background of where you're serving as a pastor, and then a couple of highlights initially of what you see God doing as you gather pastors from 8 to 30. So Fernando, if you begin.
Sure. First of all, I want to thank the Current Foundation.
Yes, it's a very dense read, but especially the first third of the book is very tough to get through because it almost beats to death the historical nature of what we've done in America. We did that on purpose. We kind of wrapped the 60 years of media that we've had in the time of the decade. Really highly recommend it that you get through the first third, because the second third is tragedy of American compassion, Marvin Alaski, and there are lots of copies up there.
If you Google that, there's actually a published article, it might have been a summary, it's like the Reader's Digest version by Marvin, and it lists the 7 actions that require first winning trust, and those steps addressing the reasons for poverty and getting people to correspond.
And ultimately, it goes to what you just said. If we can't discern whether it's enabling versus aiding people, you've got to go through those 7 steps to do it. No large system, even a large church system, will do that, take it down to a one-on-one or a very small group relationship. And that's the dirty element of this. It requires us to get our hands dirty, to get face-to-face with people, to get to know them, to build that relationship. And unfortunately, a lot of people.
There's no substitute to showing up.
Resource or within your partners, are there those that are risk takers enough that they're willing to work with people here in the United States to kind of provide some buffer for us to work with our own communities or
Yeah, there is, and it was about 2009 that I would be out telling the story of Partners Worldwide and what we're doing in groups.
With the tension that there exists between the active life and the political life. And even in his interpretation of scripture, he will set up figures who in this world contrast these two kinds of life. Mary and Martha, Rachel and Leah, John and Peter, right? But he always comes back to this eschatological thing, that here they are divided from each other and distinct from each other. There they will be perfectly united, right? There won't be a distinction. And in describing his own role as bishop, you mentioned him being in the trenches. Well, he really saw himself that way. And he describes the burden that he carried as a bishop as being a sarcina. The sarcina, it's a Latin word which refers to the backpack of the Roman legionary, which was really heavy. and that they hauled around incessantly every day for miles and miles and years. So his episcopal mandate, his role as a bishop, was his heavy sarcina, his military backpack that he had to slog around with when he really longed to spend time in contemplation and quiet. Yeah.
And I will often say it's the same reason that there was not instruction on sexual ethics to eunuchs in the New Testament. There's no reason for it. The New Testament church has no political power, has no cultural status, and so the New Testament church is existing over and against a state. New Testament church doesn't have the responsibility of statecraft or the power of statecraft.
As a spiritual matter, that action is more necessary to liberation theology than it had been to other forms of theology. Liberation theology, in some of its forms, will legitimize violent class struggle. Now, this is a key part of Marxist thought, obviously. That we need to expropriate the expropriators. Right? Those who have power, the capitalists, the landowners, need to be replaced, right, with the proletariat, in the Marxist terms, needs to reclaim what is properly theirs. But violent
a little over 35 people, and just some numbers on it. This is amazing to me because it's just, it's a gleaning type of industry, and so I think this is helpful just to kind of get around. I believe that this could literally be started up in any city over 25,000. In fact, my 83-year-old stepfather is doing this as his retirement.
Going on in urban communities, also understand how they can be creative and also compete. I was an athlete in the past, right? So business is about competition. You have to be better than your competitor to stay in business, right? And so those core principles of understanding, again, mission to God, urban communities, being able to be creative in competition is what we were teaching our entrepreneurs at the time. Now, when we first started, we only had like 6 people. It was just an idea. I said, what do we want to call this? Hustle Phoenix. We have to be able to communicate and connect with the communities that we're trying to serve. And a lot of the guys, a lot of the men in the communities that we're serving, they understand hustle. Right? And so a lot of times people would try to preach or teach to certain people that we serve, but they're like, listen, I need to be able to eat. I'm struggling. And so teach me how to feed myself. Now, I don't want a handout. I don't want the government. I don't want all these other things. I want to be able to teach and fend for myself and teach and train and develop and not only provide for myself, but my immediate family and the broader community by providing jobs. And so that's what we do with Hustle Phoenix. Why the name Hustle? Well, we again, I told you, I talked about it.
I mean, I don't like the term Austria, I'm stuck with it, so I have to keep saying it. I do like the term liberalism, and nobody will let me say it, at least not in the correct way. I mean, I read in the New York Times today that Rand Paul doesn't like the new Senate bill on health care because it's too liberal. I read that with a sense of outrage. I mean, what are they talking about too liberal? I mean, he objects to the illiberal aspects of the health care reform. I mean, he objects to the mandates and the bureaucracies and the price controls, all right?
A very famous economist wrote an article called De Gustibus Non Est Disputandum, all right, which means roughly, with tastes, there is no argument. Can we really call a preference for vanilla ice cream over chocolate ice cream a moral fault? Is it a moral failing to dislike vegetables? Is it obvious that owning a dog really is morally superior to owning a cat? Right? Are these moral questions? Perhaps that's not a good example. What about preferring a Ford Mustang to a Honda Civic? We can extend the examples infinitely here. So the argument is that tastes and preferences, we know, are subjective. People have different likes and dislikes, different tastes and preferences. But, and this is important, are our tastes and preferences beyond the scope of ethics? You would be hard-pressed to argue with someone's preference for red over green on moral grounds. But what about someone's preference for an open marriage versus a monogamous one? Or for a 100-hour work week over a 40-hour work week?
Budget that includes housing, childcare, food, transportation, and healthcare. And so where's my new friend over here? Your name? Meryl. So Meryl and I were at lunch yesterday, and you looked at the numbers in Michigan, and that Alice number is 56,000 if you're 2 parents and 2 kids. The Alice figures, if you're under 56,000 of income, you fit in there, where you have pressures and risk, where you're the working poor. And in New York City, the Alice number is 31%. So add it up. 51% of people in New York City are Alice or poverty level. The working poor, working families. Now, let me note that.
Just no excuse, no delusion, never win. Say it again. It's all because your mama don't dance, your daddy don't rock and roll. Your mama don't dance, your daddy don't rock and roll. Leave the roads around.
He's saying that it must be good. Wait a minute.
Oh.
He going to the side. taking off. on
The
American
boarding door
Airlines.
is now closed.
Getting ready
Please
to
stow
go.
laptop computers under the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment.
We've been at Acton University, Milton and I. See hubby? And it's been awesome. We've learned a lot. It's been an awesome flight, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm so ready to get back home, lay in my own bed, sleep on my own pillow. But it's been a great trip. We learned a lot. We met a lot of great people. And so hopefully maybe you'll join us next year at Acton University. And you'll get to learn a lot and we'll get to meet you. So, all right guys, gotta buckle up and get home, ready to go. See you guys. Memphis, get some barbecue, hot wings. Oh wow, can't wait to get home.
Farmer Garden.
Hubby's on there. Riding escalator. I got edamame. I want to show you guys I got wine. That wine back there. I'm looking at the wine. Look at us. The wine. Oh, y'all they posing. These awesome farmers market Charlotte employees posing. Yes, we got wine. Farmers market. Great employees, friendly and happy and nice. From the Charlotte guys. What is it? A bar? Mini bar? It's fall at the farmers market. Goodness knows. Oh, I got more stuff. Oh, lemon juices. Wow, more pastries. Wow, look at those pastries. So that's the menu, guys. Spirit, beer, wine, vodka. Here are the sandwiches and the salads. The farmer's market. My water. I hope he got me water. Got our bag. Yay! We're back home. We got our bag. Woohoo! Yeah.
All handheld electronic devices.
We're at baggage claim, so back in Memphis.
I didn't see you, man. You doing all right?
Back in Memphis. Back home in the M-Town.
He said it's only two.
And you can tell people talking loud. We're back home in Memphis. There's my baby. Getting the bags. So, alright. Bye guys. It's a great trip.